There's a whole lot of people out there that think stretching is completely useless, which is mildly infuriating to me because stretching obviously has effects on the body. I benefit from this indisputable truth, as you can see. But if you don't need the effects of stretching, then perhaps it really is useless for you. But it's probably because you don't actually know what stretching can do for you. So I'm going to cover 3 different uses that you could use stretching for, and the last one is definitely my favorite. By the way, I have free stretching ebooks if you wanted to start your own routine. Anyway, back to it. Whoa, that fall could have been really bad if I just slipped. Whoa, I didn't die. So yes, the first ability is the ability to not tear your hamstring when you slip into a split, which is achieved through some style of stretching. So yes, I do believe stretching does reduce your chance of having an injury, but not in the way that people expect. Stretching in a warm-up is mid. At best, it can temporarily increase your range of motion so that maybe you don't get injured, but you most likely already have all the range of motion you need for whatever workout you're gonna do, and more range of motion isn't necessarily going to stop an injury from happening. However, chronic stretching makes your range of motion way larger
and way more permanent. Sorry, my mic broke.
So in the event that you get forced into a position at a scary speed, you won't get injured. By the way, chronic stretching just means stretching on a regular basis. Now, mind you, stretching your hamstring is not going to stop your collarbone from snapping if you get a friendly hug from a footballer at full speed. For this reason, many people, scientific papers, peer-reviewed journals, they say that stretching does not reduce injury risk. Yes, because stretching your hamstring doesn't make your collarbone invincible. I really don't get it. The reason they say that, flowers, is because lifting weights, which is obviously another discipline, actually does increase your bone density, thereby making your collarbone stronger and less susceptible to breaking. But stretching still does prevent some injury. Remember how earlier I slipped into the splits? I just slipped, whoa. Yeah, that's where this comes into play here. Oh, and I can back this up with data. That's right, I brought receipts. These studies all show that stretching can reduce musculotendinous injuries. Musculotendinous just means that it refers to the muscles and the tendons and the ligaments, not necessarily the bone. So you can lower your chance of strains, sprains, and tears by stretching. Like, check this out. Just kidding. But stuff like rolling your ankle, tearing your hamstring, straining your adductor, rolling your ankle. Oh yeah, I already said that. Because it's dope. The bottom line is this: stretching won't strengthen your bones. That's what lifting is for. So if you want to be bulletproof, do both. Number 2, stretching increases your pain tolerance. Basically what happens is you are subjecting your nervous system to very uncomfortable positions for a certain period of time. Your body has a built-in reflex that prevents you from going too far, and it's called your stretch reflex. Your muscles quite literally flex without your ability to turn it off, and that prevents other injuries. The point of stretching is actually to get past that reflex for short periods of time so that your body gets the hint to get stretchier. And then your body adapts. By the way, it adapts in 3 ways. Adaptation number 1, your body starts to fight your stretch a little bit less and it starts to relax. But this is only an acute effect, meaning that it lasts during the stretch or maybe for a little bit after, but in a while, it goes away because it's not permanent. In fact, your butt will go right back to how stiff it was before you were stretching within an hour or 2. Adaptation number 2, you get longitudinal hypertrophy, which means your muscles actually start to grow lengthwise and not just widthwise. So let's brush up on anatomy. Basically, your hunk of muscle is made up of these cords called fascicles. These fascicles are made out of wires called muscle fibers, and those muscle fibers are made of these little string things called myofibrils, and those strings are made out of cells called sarcomeres. I know that was a lot, but basically that means if you chronically stretch or you make a habit out of stretching, you basically get more sarcomeres in a line than you would have otherwise. For typical bodybuilding style exercises, instead of getting more in a line, you get more in a row, which is why the muscle gets bigger and not longer. Yeah, get it? And the third adaptation is your body just feels less pain, which makes sense because stretching for a long time is actually quite painful, and your body is like, let's just feel less of that. And the last point I'll say about this on why stretching is not useless is in my opinion, the splits looks really dope. But not only does it look cool, it's a testament to the years of pain and effort that you put in to get to that skill. For a bodybuilder, they get people saying, you're taking steroids, whether they have or they haven't. And for somebody like me, there's inevitably gonna be somebody in the comments saying, you're just naturally flexible, but they don't see the amount of effort that I put in to make this actually happen. Recap, stretching isn't useless for 3 reasons. Whoa, it prevents strains, sprains, and tears, otherwise known as musculotendinous injury. 2, stretching increases your pain tolerance. Now I only cry on the inside when I get hurt. Haha. And 3, stretching grows your muscles lengthwise. And besides, the splits looks pretty dope. Stay flexy. Stretching isn't useless for 3 reasons. Whoa.